Welcome to my long overdue post preview of beating The Evil Within 2 on Classic Mode. Now you're seeing my unlocks here. That green gel is available to you in a new Classic Mode game. I'm not sure why, because you still can't upgrade abilities, but that 80,000 green gel is available to you in your New Game Plus for any difficulty. The Magnum is kind of overkill unless you're playing in Classic Mode. Brass knuckles are just fun to have. You get to crack some skulls, blow some chins off some faces, and the infinite ammo is self-explanatory. The ultimate payoff for beating Classic Mode, which is pretty much what everyone's after trying to beat Classic Mode aside from the trophy. And this just happened to be the last trophy I needed to platinum the game, so thank God that is over and done with. I can sigh a breath of relief, because I'll get into just how much BS I had to endure. Now before we do that, I'm showing you real quick just kind of a learn from my mistake sort of thing to clear up any confusion about how to access your infinite ammo. You need to start a New Game Plus, but you can only access infinite ammo if you carry over the save data from your Classic Mode save. Because I have all my other trophies on this Nightmare save that you're going to see me try and load into, but I'll realize later on that I don't have infinite ammo. So I have all the guns, I have all the weapon upgrades, all the abilities upgraded or maxed out, I have all the lockers opened, all the collectibles, so on and so forth. So I wanted the best of the best. I just wanted a nice, easy, breezy, chill playthrough of slaughtering some zombies. And I learned the hard way that you're stuck with whatever progress you made from your Classic Mode playthrough if you want infinite ammo. Which, I mean, obviously you can get those things again, but it just means you actually have to be invested to play again to get all the guns and everything. So, I mean, it's kind of frustrating, but you know, infinite ammo is obviously, it makes the process a lot easier. So first up, let's cover things I did to make my life easier playing this game, and I'll show you some in 3 sections. I'll cut to later on in this video showing you a few of those. But first and foremost is sprint to cover, or move to cover. This will save you time, as you can't upgrade abilities, so you can't sneak any faster than what is default. So moving from cover to cover saves you a bunch of time, and it makes it easier to close the distance on sneak kills for enemies. Second is not immediately going for headshots on enemies, and this will help to conserve ammo. What you first do is shoot them in the leg until they pause in their tracks, and then their head will stabilize or steady, and then you can just pick them off like ducks in a barrel. Next is, I didn't know this, but use the ladder in the access tunnels. It's the ladder trick. I didn't know this, but save yourself some time, and in turn your first save could essentially be chapter 6 or 7, which is crucial when trying to complete Classic Mode, is making the most out of each save. 2 more here. The next one is pretty important, and that is play in succession. So play your Classic Mode playthrough in succession of just having completed Nightmare. And the reason for that is you know where all the enemies are at, you know where all the weapons are at, you know what's important to grab, what's not important, where to sneak around, you know the map layouts, so on and so forth. And then lastly, stagger your saves. And this one kind of goes without saying, so you can, you know, revert back to a save if you saved earlier than you needed to, or you need to go for that gun that you skipped, or whatever the case. Now, we're going to get into the things that I found most frustrating, and this is third down on my list, but it's top in my heart. I'm very passionate about this, and that is, I fucking hate slow time events. That's what I refer to as these scenes right here, where developers force you to be present for a part of the game that you can't actually play. It's more of a cutscene, and it's like watching a movie that you can't pause, skip, or whatever. And I fucking hate this more than anything, but this game had other things that made it harder, and we'll cover that here in a second. So first and foremost, errors. This game has so many errors, it's ridiculous. It's counterintuitive to how you need to play classic mode, and that is you can lose hours upon hours of progress, not just gameplay, progress, because an error happens and then the game closes in the blink of an eye. So here's something real quick, just showing you the difference in damage between the sawed-off shotgun and the standard barreled shotgun. And there actually is a difference. Some might not know this, and I found this out fighting Stefano, since I had to do it a couple of times. But the sawed-off shotgun is the best shotgun variant to use for boss fights, and that's because it deals the most damage within its kill range. As you can see, the further back you get, the shots almost disappear completely. So the only thing the standard barreled shotgun has up on the sawed-off is more damage at longer ranges, but at the cost of having to use more bullets. So getting back to my list, errors, okay? You're running a risk either way. You either try and play for extended periods of time, push the boundaries, and use your saves to the utmost of your ability, and risk running into an error and losing all that progress, or save more often than you should be and risk not having enough progress to make it through to the end of the game and having to start all over or something of that nature. Second on the list is taking a break. Like I said, make sure you play classic mode in succession, because yeah, you'll forget where all the enemies are, and then you have to go through that learning curve all over again, going through the trial and error. There were certain periods between saves where I had to do it like in upwards of a dozen times to get it right, and it did not help in this process at all. After that, so I said third obviously is those cutscenes, the quick time events, the fucking excruciating slow time events, what have you. And then after that is scavenging, and that's just because of how meticulous it is, because you need to scavenge in this game. You need resources, you need gunpowder, you need ammo. You can't just run through this game and not pick anything up. But if you make the slightest little mistake and die, you have to do it all over again. Real quick, I'm just showing you the move from cover to cover to close the distance on an enemy for a sneak attack, and you're technically sprinting, but they can't hear you because you're sneaking. So this is the #1 most useful thing I found for playing on classic mode, and it actually serves twofold, and I'll show you that in the next segment to come. So after scavenging is pretty much just the trial and error stuff. I mean, seeing what enemies you need to kill, wasting shots when you think you should shoot something, or like you think you have a bead on them but you miss the shot and you miss, you know. So I'm showing you right here, this will be my demonstration of the rationing of ammo, the strategy I use to shoot their legs in order to get the headshots, and this is almost necessary in the cabin shootout. I mean, if you want to conserve ammo, obviously. But yeah, it's quite a useful strategy when going for zombie kills, since just straight up trying to go for headshots is kind of erratic at times. After this, you'll see me using the move to cover to conserve sprint and actually recharge sprint faster, which essentially gives you unlimited sprint. And I'm just showing you here that this is classic mode. I'm not trying to screw anyone over and dupe them into believing they can do something, that I'm tricking them and, you know, showing something other than what I'm displaying or, you know, conveying. I'm legitimate trickster. I'm not here to fuck the gamers over. You know, there's enough people trying to do that as is. So this is straightforward. And we'll cut to the scene of me running from the south safe house to the north safe house. And as I do this, you can keep an eye on my stamina, watch how I never run out, and I can make it all the way across this map here, the residential area of Union. And while I do this, I'm going to cover the bosses from hardest to moderate, because there wasn't anything easy, like I said. But first and foremost is Sykes. It's not a boss fight, it's an arena fight, and it's optional. But if you don't know that, or you want to risk it, and you don't know that there's the fire hydrant there, it's by far the most difficult thing to try and accomplish in this game, because the guardian that's walking there will eventually make her way over into the shootout area, and on top of that you have to protect Sykes so that he doesn't die, shoot all the zombies that are chasing you, so on and so forth. After that, it's Theodore and his stronghold, or his pagoda, pretty much chapter 13 onwards through chapter 15. And then the cabin shootout, self-explanatory. Stefano, because of how time-consuming it is. Firewall, which is the wall of fire to get to Theodore. Then O'Neill, because if you don't know that you don't have to shoot his tank, or there's some other things. The Obscura paint, Obscura painting, because she always finds you. I don't understand it. And if you don't want to waste ammo, she will almost always kill you. Then it's the access tunnels, if you don't know the trick. And then, surprisingly, Myra, I found, was the easiest. She does the least amount of damage per hit, and there's no actual one hit, one kill attacks that she has, other than that the quick time having to shoot the shoulder before she reattaches it. So yeah guys, that was the video. I mean, I tried to cram a lot into this 13 minutes or so, and trust me, there's a lot more to cover, but that was the tip of the iceberg. If you have any questions, feel free to leave comments, ask questions, leave feedback, tell your own stories. You know, I'm sure that there's no end to the shit that people have run into trying to complete this classic mode trophy or platinum. You know, it's a demon in its own right, but I'm glad I did it. I'm glad it's over with. And yeah, that's yeah. Oh, and one last thing, sorry, I left this till the end, but it's probably one of the most important things. If you want to avoid any extra work that you don't need to do, don't pick up any files or interact with any residual memories. That will save you a ton of time and a ton of effort and heartache. So yeah guys, that's the video. I hope you liked it. I hope it helps you in some way, shape, or form. Don't forget to leave comments, ask questions, like, share, subscribe, check out my channel, and that's all I got. Peace.